Hi guys and welcome back. I'm Adam Thomas. Thank you all so much for being here. It's Sunday again, so it means it's my Sunday special puzzle solving day. If you guys have got any better suggestions on a name for this little segment, please drop it in the comments because yeah, that one's not gonna work. If you didn't see the one we did last week, the Da Vinci puzzle, click the link above. Today we're gonna be checking out this Hanayama nutcase puzzle. If you've never checked out any of the Hanayama puzzles before, check the description. You'll see a link to Hanayama and JP Games in the UK, which is where I get all my puzzles from. A lot of these puzzles tend to be fairly small, little intricate little puzzles. They look deceivingly easy. Hanayama do rate their puzzles from 1 to 6, 1 being the easiest and 6 being the hardest. If you're new to puzzling, a little indication of how difficult and how complicated the puzzles are going to be to solve. This is a level 6 puzzle, so this is one of the harder puzzles that Hanayama do. The idea being is you have to take the puzzle apart and then put it back together. With this one, it's slightly different. There is a little tiny nut inside this puzzle. So the idea is you got to get the nut out and then put it all back together. So if you enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And with all that being said, let's jump straight into solving this Hanayama nutcase puzzle. So this is the Hanayama nutcase puzzle. So listening to it, there is something inside, and I have read what it says on Hanayama as well. Again, links in description. Before we get too far into this, let's just pop this over here. I'm away. So yeah, if you check out the links below to Hanayama and JP Games, you'll find all the descriptions for these puzzles. So basically, there is, if you can hear that, there is a little nut inside. So the idea is you've got to get the nut out of the puzzle and then put it all back together. Exactly how we started. So there is a little bit of movement in the puzzle. And then obviously there's these two nuts on the middle of the puzzle, or in the middle of the puzzle. So just having a little look. These two end bits don't unscrew. So these are fixed to the puzzle. However, these bits do move. So they can screw all the way up and down, as you can see. And then inside this little tiny hole, don't know whether you'll be able to see, but inside the middle of this sort of grooved bit, there's that's where the nut is. So we've got to get these pieces apart. So just looking at it, there is a slight gap, almost like a seam, running down the middle of the puzzle. And by the looks of it, it's pretty even, I think. So yeah, so as it runs down, there's these lines. So I'm presuming it sort of interlocks. There was, with all the Hanayamas, you get some sort of like clue, like a word or a little phrase, which sort of helps you to start on the right path with these puzzles. I think this one was something like interlocking or interweaved or something along those lines. So I'm presuming that it means that there's bits on this one, because as I sort of pull that backwards and forwards, just pulling this side, I can see that this like strip running down moves, and it also moves here. So it's like every other one is connected to this end, and then if I do the same on the other side, every other one. So there's got to be a way of sort of manipulating these two nuts at the same time as pulling, and then eventually we're going to come apart, sort of like that. But obviously if we've got two nuts on there, then there's no gaps, we're going to be sort of in trouble. So like I say, this is a level 6, so it is going to be fairly difficult as far as the solve's concerned, but hopefully it won't be too ridiculous. So as I spin this, it does catch. So whether that's because this is sliding sort of up and down, and it's not quite going through that thread nice, or whether there's something else going on. Just try and screw this down so I can try and see anything. It's going to give us some sort of clue as to what we're trying to achieve. See, that's getting stuck as I'm twisting that, so sort of holding onto this top bond, like the top sort of like welded on fixed nut, and just turning this, it is catching. So there's part of me that thinks there's something going on underneath these with the thread maybe. Otherwise, how's that going to come apart? See now, so pulling this now, that's moving through this nut, but it is getting stuck on something. If I can do the same thing on this one. See, that's done something there. So there must be, I don't know, some sort of orientation of these middle nuts that's going to allow this to just magically come apart. I feel like it's moving a lot more. So I might just try and like sort of gravity do the work. See if it'll just fall apart. I feel like I'm being a little bit, ooh. See how much that's moving now? Are we? Yeah. See, that's moved a lot. So now we've got these gaps. So yeah, so what I was thinking earlier about this, I think, about them being sort of separate pieces. How well you can see this. But there are now gaps in these top sections. So we've got these gaps on each side. So there's definitely a way to get each piece to slide through. I mean, we're 6 minutes in, so we are killing this. I mean, I can almost get that nut out now, but I feel like it does have to come apart. So I think, I mean, if it's open this much, it must open the whole way. But I feel like I've just spun these middle ones around now, so they're not going to be in the same position. So whatever we did with a little bit of luck, yeah, I think we might have just looked out a little bit. I mean, if you're one for liking something to fidget around with, these are definitely the puzzles for you. They can get incredibly frustrating, but they are incredibly satisfying at the same time. See, how did I get that? And now I definitely don't want to cross-thread it. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster and potentially breaking the puzzle. So I'm not going to force it. Like a lot of puzzles, force is not good. You shouldn't have to force a puzzle, although it can get pretty frustrating to the point where you are planning on getting some heavy machinery to try and get them open. So how did I tell before? I feel like now that they're really close together, that's not helping. Because when they're really close together, I feel like that's putting the threads too close together, so I haven't got that movement, so I can't see which which of these middle nuts is in the right place. That sort of makes sense. See where like the movement's coming from. So I'm just manipulating this top sort of section to see if it'll slide through the nut. So you can kind of, just by like moving this sort of forward and backwards, you can sort of feel when it's sort of free and when it's sort of stuck on the thread. So I'm thinking there's potentially gaps that it's moving through on the thread, just from sort of feeling it sort of rotating, like as I'm rotating around, and just sort of letting gravity let that sort of fall into the threads of these middle nuts. Definitely feeling like that sort of feels freer. I'll tell you what though, so this is a bigger section here, and then the opposite side, which is this side. So this nut here has this thin section that runs through, and then on the opposite side of it, which is this bit here, it's like maybe not twice as wide, but like wider, and then the same on the other one. So they look fairly symmetrical in the sense that they've got like a big side and a thin side, which would maybe mean that if there is gaps in these nuts in the middle, there's potentially two different sizes. So if I'm the wrong way round, I could maybe get this to slide, this smaller one to slide through the bigger gap, but the bigger one won't slide through. So I'm gonna have to find a very small window twice. So I've got to find 4 sort of, wait, unless I can get one of these down into the gap, because how have I made that gap? I must have just looked out and got both of them orientated perfectly, which is something that can happen. You can just absolutely look out on a puzzle. See that. No, yes. See, that's moving, but I'm kind of thinking that this is now in one of those bigger gaps. I'm gonna put this right the way down at the bottom. That's gonna eliminate me needing to deal with that bottom one, I think, if it's completely cleared out of the thread. It should mean that I only need to now worry about what? Yeah. 1, 2. And there's our little nut. Stop that. Actually, no, keep that going, because we have got to put this back together. See, that's sliding. See. Boom. So, I don't know how well you can see this, but inside here, there is a thread and a gap. So we've got, in fact, so what we've got inside here is we have our nut, like so. So this is our nut. So inside here we have obviously a thread, but the thread is only like on a section, and then from there there's like a big gap, and then underneath here there's like a smaller section. So we've got like these big sort of like windows which allow these. So theoretically this should just slide straight away in and out. So solving the puzzle is a case of getting both of these orientated so that the gaps... Wait, how does that work if there's two? Because the gaps are the same. I don't know. I don't really know how I've solved it, in all honesty. I feel like I might have just sort of fluked it. Anyway, to put it back together, maybe very difficult. So if I... So that is now completely blocked. So the thread is on the exposed section. So if I twist that sort of 90 degrees, he says, like it's an easy thing to do. See, that doesn't cover it the whole way. That puts, maybe that's the wrong one. Okay, so there's writing on there, so I wonder if that was a clue. So it does say nutcase on there, and then it's upside down on the other side. So both of them have the words on. I see this, unless it's the right orientation, doesn't slide down. So this is now created. It's not created any gaps. I feel like my theory might have been just completely wrong. So I'm thinking that this now needs to slide straight the way back in to allow this to slide through. But if those gaps aren't in the right place, then it's not going to allow that to happen. Okay, that'll fit. So this technically is the one for this piece, and then this nut needs to go onto here first, if it will let me slide this on without cross-threading it. Maybe I just need to be a bit more careful instead of just trying to bully it on. Okay, so if I twist that so that is completely sort of giving me gaps, this should slide straight the way down. Boom. So now I need to do that with these gaps exposed. Which they don't that way. So frustrating. I feel like I've technically solved the puzzle, but like I say, with the Hanayamas, it is a case of you do have to put them back together. So this is technically part of solving the puzzle. So that's now where I want that. This should completely close. And we are back together. Boom. Stop. 17 minutes. Hanayama, nutcase, cast puzzle, solved. Boom. Woo! There you go, guys. That was the Hanayama nutcase puzzle solved in 16, 17 minutes. Super, super fun to do. If you haven't checked out the Hanayamas before, make sure to check the description. You'll find links there to the Hanayama website where they've got all of their range of puzzles. Like I say, all ranging from levels 1 all the way through to 6. If If you're from the UK, check out JP Games. That's where I get all of my puzzles from. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to smash the like button, click the subscription button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, click the bell icon, that's going to get you notified whenever I upload a new video. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next Sunday. Peace.